welcome to another episode of Cyclone InCyders on ISU TV. I'm Zach Williamson, joined here with Kobe Gaines and Lester Weirichia, and once again we're here to talk some Iowa State football. The Cyclones played host to the Oklahoma State Cowboys this past weekend, and basically a shootout of a game. Les was there, he's got more.
The Jack was packed last Saturday as the 21st ranked Iowa State Cyclones would face off against number 15 and Big 12 opponent, the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Early in the first, the Cyclones got off to a great start. Quarterback Kyle Kemp found senior Alan Lazard in the end zone for a 14-yard touchdown. The second Cyclone touchdown came from sophomore running back David Montgomery, who made a couple Cowboys miss as he high-stepped his way into the end zone. Montgomery finished the game with 105 yards and 3 touchdowns. Senior quarterback Mason Rudolph and the strong Cowboy offense was just too much for the Cyclone defense.
Today's tough. It's a gut-wrenching loss, and it's not easy, but college football isn't easy. And so it's a game of inches, and our job is to win the inch, and we came up a little bit short today. But, give credit to Oklahoma State. They're obviously a really good football program, really good football team, and, made more plays than we were able to make by the end of the day.
Iowa State is now 4-6 and still have a chance to finish the season with 8 games. The Cyclones will be in Texas this weekend to meet against 1-9 Baylor, then travel to Kansas to take on 5-5 K-State. The Cyclones are bowl eligible and will look to improve their bowl game selection with 2 more wins. Lester Weirichia with ISU TV, go Cyclones.
Thank you, Zach. Correction there, the Cyclones are 6-4, not 4-6. My bad on that.
Yeah, guys, another great game. I mean, really a heartbreaker because the Cyclones, they got out to the early 14-0 lead. They had an 8-point lead with a little over 8 minutes to play. And, it just didn't come together for them. Guys, give me just a quick thought on the game.
Quick thought on the game, Zach. For me, I think the Cyclones just, kind of like last week, just finish. They were in a position to finish this game, and honestly, it was a tough game. And something you don't want to do is get into a shootout with a Cowboy. And we know what that looked like. Mason Rudolph came out there and just, had a day. Personally, I'm not a fan of the 3-man rush. You guys know how I feel about that. But overall, I thought the Cyclones played a pretty good game offensively. Zab came in the game, did everything he was asked for. He was everything that we asked of him. But just final thought. Gotta throw that ball a little further and give your receiver the best chance to make that home run ball.
Yeah, and Murdoch made a great play on it, but he is only 6 foot tall. Maybe throw that to Butler, maybe throw it to Lazard.
Yeah.
But either way, I mean, it was a good play.
I agree.
My takeaways from the game were, Iowa State started off strong, and usually we don't see that. And the past few weeks, it kind of reminded me of a deja vu game, earlier in the year against Iowa, where they had that lead going in, and then it kind of dwindled away. I saw a little bit of the arm tackles. Touchdown right there by David. 3 touchdowns on the day, but it was little kind of deja vu, like I said, to where the Wilkerson play when Stoner had the screen pass and ran it in. His angle towards that wasn't it wasn't the best. And that resulted in an arm tackle into the touchdown that really gave Oklahoma State, the 49-42 lead. Like we said before, throw it to Hakeem the Dream Butler, throw it to Alan Lazard, and let them do what they do, because Lazard had a huge game. He had 9 receptions, 126 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So why not make it 3? So, but you can't go back. I'm excited for the future with Zeb. He came in. He's a gunslinger. Kind of reminds me of Jacob Park. And I'm ready for the future.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Zeb came in and really played a great football game, and it's crazy to think that he's our 3rd-string quarterback, and as well as he played, after Park has already filled in and played as great as he has, pretty awesome job. What do you guys think overall? Do you think this is Zeb's team moving forward? I mean, obviously Kent, if he's healthy, he's going to go, but after this season, what do you think of Zeb? Do you think he's going to be the starter for the Cyclones next year, and what all do you expect?
So after the season, well, let's talk about this weekend first. So I spoke with Kyle Kemp yesterday and found out that he tore / injured a muscle in his right pectoral in his throwing arm, so he is under a sling. But that being said, go moving forward, still 2 games left in the season. I seriously hope that Kemp is ready to go. But moving forward, Zeb's looked great, guys. Zeb has looked so impressive. Again, he goes in the game and does what's expected of him.
Yeah.
He had a turnover, but we're not. That's early. That's okay. That's totally fine. But just moving forward, I think it's Zeb's team.
Yeah, for his first ever game to come against the 15th ranked Cowboys, he played great. I mean, 1 turnover is probably okay. Kobe, do you have anything else to add about Zeb?
Zeb. I mean, he came in earlier in the year for a few snaps, and I mean, he's been solid. He's calm, cool, and collected, and that's everything that you need in a quarterback, especially the young guy like him. True freshman, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's everything you can ask for. I think it is his team in the future. I know they're bringing in some recruits. I know one guy they're bringing in, Will McIlvain, out of Des Moines, Lincoln. He's a good quarterback. But
Real Mitchell as well.
Yeah, Real Mitchell, yep. So, I mean, he's going to have some competition. But I think it is Zeb's team going forward. And, it also helps having, David Montgomery back there, taking the train to the touchdown. So, I mean, future's bright for Cyclone football. And, I mean, we'll take it week by week. You got Baylor coming up. And 1-8, but you can't slack. Just like we said, let's putting the teams to bed.
Yeah, put those little guys.
So
tuck 'em in.
they're kind of acting like Kansas this year a little bit. Not trying to throw shade, just straight stating facts. And then going to K-State, but take it week by week, and leave it in Zeb's hand.
Well, last thing about the Oklahoma State game, guys, catch or no catch?
I'll be honest with you, and this is my honest. I saw the play, I watched it, rewatched it, slept, woke up, watched it, rewatched it, and got a fresh mind. And to be honest, guys, I think it was an interception. I said a little bit earlier, it was underthrown. And again, you throw that ball again, put it in the air for Butler to grab, touchdown. Put it in the air for Lazard to grab, touchdown. Murchie Murdoch 6'6", not to take away anything from him this season, but that's in my eyes, the defender got there first. And actually, we talked about this on the Less is More show, Kobe. In that situation, in that 50-50 ball situation, you really have to get dirty and rip that ball out of the defender's hand if you want to come down with it. If you want, because the play's going to get reviewed, so you really have to get down and dirty and rip that ball out of the defender's hand. But overall, I thought it was an interception.
I agree. I mean, tough call. It looked like he had the ball first. Murdoch made a good final play, and there for a little bit, you watch everything in slow motion. You got an argument. You know what I mean? A 50-50 ball does go to the offense in most cases. But yeah, strange situation. But guys, let's talk about the weeks to come. We got Baylor this Saturday, and then the next week, they got K-State. Both games on the road. Guys, give me a quick just scoring previews. What do you expect?
Well, the Cyclones have traveled well so far. Scoring preview. I think Iowa State's going to absolutely, this is their chance again, some more redemption, obliterate Baylor. K-State is 5-5 right now, so that'll be a little tougher. And K-State has this history, this thing they do of kind of upsetting teams, in the Big 12. So I think Iowa State has a really good chance of winning both games.
Well, yeah, that game could get very interesting, too, if K-State's going in with 5 wins. They're going to be pushing for that 6 wins.
Right? They want some.
That bowl eligibility. Yeah. Kobe, what you got?
I'm going to go with Iowa State taking the win in at Texas, so against Baylor, 38-7. And then, I'm hoping that they can, use that momentum if they get the win to go against K-State and take a win there.
I agree. I think the Cyclones could win both games and go into their bowl game 8-4 and hopefully tie their school record most 9 wins in a season. That'd be very exciting to see. Lastly, guys, Thanksgiving right around the corner. Tell me, which player are you more thankful for this summer and this season?
Which player? To be 100% honest, Kobe and I talked a little bit about this. I was going to go with David, but we got to give it to Joe Lanning, the man, the myth, the legend, Superman, Iron Man, whatever you want to call this guy. I heard the other day he got a Heisman letter. They only sent 30 of those. So he got a Heisman, what's it, a recruiting letter or whatever the system is. But he got one of those letters, and just congratulations. That's awesome for a guy in Cyclone Nation to get something like that. What an honor, what a privilege. So my guy this season, everybody was like, whoa, Joel's going to play middle linebacker? What? He did a great job, Joel. Well done this year, my man. And best of luck in the future.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, at first you talk to anybody else and they're like, oh, it's probably not a good sign. If your quarterback is now your starting middle linebacker, but boy, has he proved a lot of people wrong. Kobe?
I mean, Les said it perfectly. I had Joel, Iron Man Joel Lanning, taking it. Just because, I mean, that's crazy, played quarterback all throughout. Won a state championship at Ankeny High, and comes here playing quarterback, throw him in. Into defense, and he's been solid. Everyone's thinking, he's going to be second string. He'll get a little bit of play, get special team, but no, he's going to play all three. He's still coming in. He came in last game, threw that touchdown, and ran a touchdown. The dude literally is Iron Man. What can he not do? So, Joe Lanny's been huge, and definitely he's what I'm thankful for.
Yeah.
A little bit of stuff in right there.
Cranberry sauce. I'm very thankful for Joel as well. Lazard, hard not to be thankful for him too. It seems like both of these guys have kind of been the face of the program the last few years.
All the seniors.
Yeah, both of them had excellent games on Saturday, so very cool to see. That's all we have for the football segment. Stay tuned. Basketball is right around the corner.
So good to see you guys.
So, what's up? Oh, we finally bought a place.
Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Is it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
El vivir verde es asegurarse que el aire en su hogar es saludable para su familia. Asegúrese de hacer una prueba de radón en su hogar. Es fácil. Para saber más, llame al 866-528-3187. Proteja la salud y el bienestar de su familia. Haga la prueba de radón en su hogar. Eso es vivir de manera saludable y verde.
La prueba de radón, la salud la protege. Hazlo verde, verde, verde.
La prueba de radón es fácil. Solo llame al 866-528-3187.
On the break, I'm now joined with Brian Birchka and Ben Olson here at the desk, and now we're transitioning into basketball. The last few years, Cyclone's basketball team has had a lot of success, a lot of fun things to talk about. However, not a great start in this season. They started the season off last Friday. They went and traveled to Missouri, who, as Porter Jr., he ended up only playing 2 minutes. They still beat us by 15. And then Milwaukee came in yesterday and beat the Cyclones by 18 at Hilton. First home opener loss in 20 years. Guys, a lot to be concerned about so far with the start, but what would you say is your biggest concern?
I think the biggest concern for me, just generally right off the bat, is going to have to be the leadership. I mean, that's something we've become so accustomed to as Cyclone fans with Naz and Monte and even George, and all those guys are gone, and we got players who've been comfortable in the role positions, and now they're going to have to step up, and they are struggling to find that in the first 2 games of the year. But, I mean, that'll come with confidence, which is something we're going to have to find, considering, I mean, it's tough to gain confidence when you lose games by 15, 20 points. But I think the more that you can get, the more leadership we'll see, and we're really going to get a taste of Coach Prohm's coaching ability this season, I think, with this group of young guys.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to have to change things up from, what worked a year ago. This team is a very different team. Brian?
The turnovers is what's scaring me right now. 35 in the first 2 games this season. Zoran Talley said there's a team goal to stay below 10 a game, and they're not even close. So that's scaring me. The energy is also. There's just no energy on the court right now.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I seen a little bit of the game yesterday when, you see 2 Milwaukee guys dive on the floor for the ball, and you look around and, well, nobody's there for Iowa State. So, energy for me is something I'd like to highlight too. Turnovers, turnovers are awful. You can't have that many turnovers. I'm afraid of what West Virginia would do to this team right now. But there's a lot of time for this team to grow and become a better basketball team. Guys, also tell me which player needs to bring more, and if anybody, who has impressed you to this point.
Donovan Jackson's got to fix something. He was like tagged as the guy this season. You expected him to come in and show that, and he put up 4 points against Milwaukee. So he's the guy that I think needs to step up in some way, be the leader, be the senior that this team needs. As far as impressions, no one's honestly really impressed me so far. I saw some potential against Mizzou, but we didn't bring anything to Milwaukee. So
yeah, that's true. I mean, we have the stat sheet right here, and Jackson, like you said, 2 for 11 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3, 5 turnovers. For me, I think it's just. It seemed like he's trying so hard to score for them now. From what I watched, he's trying so hard to get them points that he's taking shots that, aren't in his arsenal. Something that, he's more of an open 3 shooter, maybe get into the hole, but not necessarily a hand-in-his-face guy. Ben, tell me which player, in your opinion, needs to bring more, and if any, who has impressed you?
So, you hit the nail on the head. Obviously, D-Jax is struggling to start the year, and that's just going to have to fall on him to learn how to create more for himself. You look at last year, he was more of a corner 3 type of guy, and so he's going to have to grow on that as the season goes on. I think he was, 4 for 20 in the first 2 games we talked about?
Yeah.
But, I think who also needs to start playing better is, Lindell Wick, true freshman. But, this guy,
has all the hype in the world.
Yeah, he's from Oak Hill, he knows he's been in big games. And it's a lot of pressure, I know, and he doesn't have a lot to work with right now. But I think that is just more of an opportunity for him to show his stuff. I think he has, as good of anyone, a chance to take control and be the leader on this team. If he can, start to hit his shots, and really I think he's doing the same thing as Jackson. He's starting to force to, thinking that, we need someone to score. And it's really about being smart and also creating for yourself at the same time. So that's something that we're going to have to see them grow with. And as far as impressions, I think Patrick Beverly is the only one who's bringing any kind of energy on this team. In the game last night, he had 11 points, but he was really working in the paint for being a 6'5" guy. And that's like all Iowa State has going on right now. We got dominated in the paint by Milwaukee, a team that was last in the Horizon League last year. And, if we're getting outsized by a team like that, we're going to have to learn how to play in other ways as we head into Big 12 play.
I agree, and you know what? If it wasn't for the fact that Lard and Brace are coming back soon, I would probably say Sullivan Young is my player that needs to bring more. 29 minutes, what do we got? 28 minutes of action, 4 rebounds in 28 minutes. That's not going to cut it, especially not in the Big 12 if you're only getting 4 rebounds in 28 minutes against Milwaukee. Another player for me, Nick Weiler-Babb, who's actually been their high scorer both games. But I'm waiting for him to understand that he needs to try to take over a game. And because this team lacks scores, 6 shots from who's supposed to be one of your best scorers isn't going to cut it. Babb needs to be taking, I think, over 10 shots a game, maybe 12, 13 around there. Because otherwise, I don't know where points are going to come from for this basketball team.
That's a really good point.
But like you said, Beverly, he's impressed me with the energy. The same with Tally. Both of them, I think, have showed energy. They definitely have things they could work on. Offensive skills. They're not entirely there shooting the basketball, but like you said, energy. Getting after it. I love it. However, will Cameron Lard and Hans Brace make a difference when they come back? They will play in the game against Appalachian State Thursday in the first game of the Puerto Rico tip-off. How big of a difference do you think these two will make?
They can't make it worse at this point. It can't really get worse. Both are big, imposing players. Cameron Lard's the fast-paced guy, and Hans Brace has the ability to do that Dirk Nowitzki type stuff, shooting from all around the court. So I think they can definitely make a difference, help out a bit.
Yeah, I think these guys are going to attract more attention too, which is going to help guys like Jackson and others, get some shots that just aren't there right now. Ben?
Yeah, I agree. I think we're talking about Braze. I think he is going to bring, I don't want to say leadership, but almost like discipline to this team coming out of the Ivy League. I think he's going to be able to help our offense. You mentioned his shooting ability. That'll stretch us, and then also it'll just, make us take better shots. And I think work around until we find a good shot and, just be more disciplined in that aspect. Lard, hopefully, is going to help us turn our defense into offense, which is, if we can't score in the half court, we're going to have to start bringing energy and getting some fast-paced basketball going, which is kind of the Iowa State we know.
I agree. I mean, really what seems to be their biggest problem to me on offense so far is the fact that, and Prom even said it afterwards in his media conference that, this team just isn't getting out and scoring in the fast break. I think they had a total of 2 fast break points, and this team can't get it done in the half court to only score 2 points, in fast break opportunities. They got to get out and run. But that takes us to the Puerto Rico tip-off, which we just said their next game is against Appalachian State, which will be the first game of the Puerto Rican tip-off in Myrtle Beach because of the hurricane that struck Puerto Rico. So the first game they got Appalachian State, then they'll take on the winner of Tulsa or Western Michigan, or the loser. And then they'll finally play in the championship if they make it thus far, either Illinois State, South Carolina, UTEP, or Boise State. So, no huge names in there. South Carolina made a Final Four run a year ago, lost a lot of key pieces. Illinois State's always competitive, UTEP, Boise State, all decent teams. Do you guys think they could win the tip-off?
I wouldn't bet on it. Milwaukee's projected 7th or 8th in the Horizon League and beat us pretty bad. So whether these teams are that great or not, they're probably better than Milwaukee's supposed to be. So I wouldn't bet on a whole lot of success in Myrtle Beach.
Okay, Ben.
Yeah, we're going to have to be taking a different team to Myrtle Beach if we're going to be winning the tournament. It's just, we were seeing it on Twitter. Appalachian State beat their last opponent by 101, and I know it was like a D2 school, but, a lot of these teams are gunning for like Iowa State, just like Milwaukee was last night. Iowa State has kind of become somewhat of a known name in college basketball, so, a win over us will look good on their resumes. And I think this team, I don't know if they realize that, but I just don't think that they're prepared for it. And the growing pains are obviously worse than we anticipated this year. I think we'd agree. And so the thing about college basketball is games come so quickly, and I just think it's too soon at the Puerto Rico tip-off for us to really show what we got.
I agree. It's going to be tough. I think they got to change a lot of things. I think Lard and Brace could help them a little bit. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough.
Yeah.
Let's move into volleyball, where the Cyclone volleyball team beat West Virginia 3-0 in 3 sets Wednesday. Then they fell to the number 3 Longhorns 3-1 in Hilton. We tried calling it. We were hoping for the upset. Wasn't quite in the cards. They're at Oklahoma tomorrow. Who you guys got?
I'm definitely looking for an ISU win tomorrow. Oklahoma is 4-8 this season, and we've already beat them. ISU's been fairly consistent, so I'm looking for a win.
Ben?
Yeah, I think the Big 12 is definitely split into the top half and the bottom half, and Iowa State's hanging in that top half, and Oklahoma's definitely fell to the bottom. So I think we can see a pretty handily win for them, especially, I know the girls are pretty upset with that loss to the Longhorns.
Oh yeah, they're going to be fired up, and they're going to be ready to go. And they'll finish the season with Texas Tech and Texas Tech before the NCAA tournament, which ranked 23rd in the nation. You got to like the Cyclones' chances of punching themselves into the tournament. What do you guys think for a seed?
As long as we win the last games, which we should, both TCU and Texas Tech are in the bottom half of the Big 12. I think it's not that big of a stretch that we get a 5 or 4 seed.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think 4-5 would be a good number. Main thing for me is I would want to stay out of the Texas bracket and the Penn State bracket.
Yeah.
Those 2 teams are pretty good.
Yeah, they're historically very good every year, and they are very good again this season. And that's going to lead us to the cross-country team. Both the men's and women's 14th ranked and 20th ranked won the Midwest Regionals here in Ames to advance to the NCAA Championships this Saturday in Louisville, Kentucky. The Iowa State Director of Men's and Women's Cross Country, Martin Smith, has been named the Midwest Region Roy Gryatt Coach of the Year, and the women's coach, Andrea Grove McDonough, was named the Midwest Regional Coach of the Year. Awesome stuff happening on the cross country course there for the Cyclones, and hopefully best of luck for them guys. Lastly, just to wrap it up, Thanksgiving's right around the corner. What's the best Thanksgiving food? What's your number 1 item?
Mashed potatoes and gravy. You cannot go wrong.
I agree completely. I can't go against that.
Hey, that's a sweep. 3 mashed potatoes and gravy. That's all we got. Have a great Thanksgiving, and tune in next time. I'm Zach Williamson.